right, awesome. Welcome everyone. I am with someone that I'm very excited to speak with today. Her name is Mana Ionescu, uh, which is a very fun name to sound. And if I didn't speak English, I'd be like, that's just a beautiful sounding words that have been strung together.
Ah, thanks.
So yeah,
It's very, very Romanian.
yeah. Nice. It's far more pleasant than my last name of Broadhead, which is just very
Yeah.
severe in my mind.
I
Um,
always wonder how the childhoods are of people who have names like that. Mine
yeah.
is actually kind of boring in Romania.
Oh yeah. Is it like the Smith in Romania?
It's like the Johnson.
Ja-
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, that must have been more pleasant than the nicknames that I was given in in the younger years, but that's for another podcast. Well, I'm so excited that you're here. Could you give us just like
Thank
a
you.
brief introduction to you and what you're all about?
Sure. I'm the founder of Lightspan Digital, a digital marketing consultancy in Chicago. And my passion is analytics, but also debunking myths. There's a lot of should do this, should do that in digital marketing. And I love to go to the data to look at what the data tells us and prove or disprove something that may or may not be a myth. I also practice Olympic style weightlifting, which is three movements: clean, jerk, and snatch. And I'm really passionate about underwater conservation.
Hmm.
And people can find me pretty much anywhere on social media at Manamica, Manamica.
Hmm. Awesome. And we'll spell that out in the show notes as well. But Manamika, that's pretty easy to remember. That's so cool. How did you get into Olympic weightlifting, Olympic style weightlifting?
Oh, it was by chance. I was actually recovering from an injury from a surgery, and my coach was an Olympic weightlifting coach. And he was showing me some movements, and I just fell in love with it. And turned out I was pretty good at it
Hmm.
and kept doing it. So we switched from personal training to just Olympic style weightlifting training. And now I have a garage gym and I drive my neighbors crazy when I drop weights. But for me, it's a lot of fun.
They need to know your power.
Yeah, I can lift some good weights, but I keep getting injured. So who knows for how much longer I'm going to be able to do this.
Oh yeah. What's the key to avoiding injuries with that style of weightlifting? Are there any tricks?
I think the key in every sport is to really train the small muscles that sustain the joints and really have a more holistic training approach than just in my case, than just cleaning and jerking all the time. The accessory work is really important.
Hmm. Nice. Yeah, I think the the majority of my injuries have been in the gym.
Mine, I would say, were outside the gym, but ended up affecting my gym performance. So
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
pretty clumsy.
yeah.
For
I mean,
somebody who handles big weights, I'm actually pretty clumsy.
yeah, yeah. I had to switch. I was doing like three plates on each side squats, and I was like,
Mm-hmm.
"Oh, I'm a man." And then my back was just like, "No, you're not." Like,
Oh,
I was like, "All right, enough with that." My back felt like I was about to just explode a disc or something. Um,
yeah, squatting can do that. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
It requires flexibility. And I think most of us don't think about, um, stretching and warming up appropriately
oh yeah,
to, to play into that flexibility element.
yeah. Who's got time for that?
No.
But hey, so that's so cool. So you you started Lightspan Digital in, is it 2011?
It was 11 years ago.
11, so
So
2010,
that
yeah.
2009. Yeah.
2009. Okay, wow. So what inspired you to start your agency?
I was working corporate and for a bank, and banks are slow to adapt to what's new out there. So I knew that there was more to marketing, more to digital marketing. Social media was starting to be a player, and I wanted to do more. So I started doing pro bono work just to play and learn about the new digital tools. And I developed a methodology. I noticed that there was a pattern to activity and results. So I documented this methodology, and then that was the basis for my company. I quit my job. I give 3 months notice, and I started Lightspan. Yeah, it
Yeah,
all started with the process, with a method.
yeah. Can you tell us about the design and refinement of that methodology?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, it's in case you haven't yet figured out that I'm very passionate about fitness, it is called the methodology is called the daily social media workouts. And it was
Uh,
because I noticed that to get success in social media, it would take a rigorous approach where you do a little bit every day. That consistency and persistence is really important, just like it is in fitness. And so I call them the daily social media workouts. It's a cheat sheet of do 3 of these and 4 of that, just like workout programming. And the crazy thing about it is that they're still valid. Now, obviously, we've had to make some tweaks over time. We've added Instagram workouts. Instagram wasn't a thing at the time. And so they evolved to cover more channel and to cover some of the new features of the channels. And for our clients, we develop custom workouts, but they're still valid and they're free on our website for anybody who wants to try them out.
that's such a great way to uh, frame kind of like the daily activities. It's your daily social media workout. Maybe you take
Yeah.
breaks on the weekends.
Yep.
Uh,
You always need recovery time for sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah.
How long does the average daily social media workout take?
30 minutes to an hour,
Mhm.
just like a workout.
Yeah.
So a little bit every day can get us very far.
Hmm.
Yeah. So if you, I know people who are really into LinkedIn. If that's what you're into, spend 30 minutes a day on LinkedIn, connect with some new people, post some content, comment on other people's content. In some ways, that outreach and commenting and engaging other people is a lot more effective than posting. If you're passionate about Instagram, spend your time there. But many people, especially if you're familiar with the network, 30 minutes is plenty. And if not at first, you may need to spend half an hour a day, up to an hour a day. And then over time, it gets easier. Just like with fitness, the more we do it, the easier it gets.
Yeah, you're building that social media muscle, so it becomes
Yes.
easier.
Yeah. Yeah.
What kind of results should folks using the methodology expect?
Yeah. This is a tough one because it depends by channel. But it's all math. Let's say that you follow 20 people a day on Instagram. Odds are that, let's say, 5 of those will follow you back, right? So if you do this for 100 days, you may have 100 new followers, 500 new followers.
Mhm.
Here I am bragging about my math skills, and then I can't even do 5 times 100. So, so it's what you put into it, but when you do it, you're going to notice that there's a math to it. And so you can pace yourself, and you can actually figure out the pace at which things are going to grow. based on 2 weeks, a month's worth of data.
Mhm.
And a lot of times people say to me, the other day somebody said to me, there's the social justice organization, and I learned that it's not being run by people who are passionate. I mean, they're passionate about social justice, but they don't have any career background in that. They're run by digital marketers. And how is that possible? Well, digital marketers, instead of being out there fundraising in the traditional ways, you're going to spend 6 hours a day on Instagram, 6 hours a day on digital marketing activities. So ultimately, it is what you put into it. This person was asking me, how does this account have 2 million followers? Well, if they've been doing it for a couple of years and put hours into it a day, they will have the ability to get there. They also have this awareness. Digital marketers know that it's about outreach. So the daily social media workouts prescribe 80% of your activity to be conversational. So whether you post something that's a question that triggers conversation, or whether you comment on other people's content, or join a forum and like a Facebook group or a LinkedIn group and get involved in the conversation, that's going to get you a lot further than if you just post. So the rule for us is 80-20, 80% conversation, 20% posting. And skilled digital marketers know that and know to apply that and grow their communities that way.
Mhm. Awesome. So I have not had a chance to look over your methodology. How does content creation factor into the methodology? Is that part of it, or is that separate?
Yeah. Yeah. Um, I recommend the post today, although these days the algorithms have gotten quite sophisticated. So for example, on LinkedIn, we see sometimes that a post will pick up engagement and traffic for 3, 4, sometimes a whole week. The better the post does, the longer its longevity, thanks to the LinkedIn algorithm. So sometimes on LinkedIn, you need just 3 very good posts a week, like very engaging posts a week that inform, teach, wow. We're starting to see some of that on Instagram as well, where some posts are just heavier when it comes to the engagement they pull and have more longevity. On Twitter, we still need to post a lot to really get any traction. So years ago, we used to say 8 to 10 posts a day. That seems to still be the case. But the key here is a little bit every day. I am part of a fitness community called Street Parking, and one of our mottos is more than nothing. Just every day, try to do more than nothing, and the cumulative effects are going to be felt over time.
Yeah, compounding interest sounds relevant to what you're doing.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
kind of like that. If we're to step away from fitness metaphors.
yeah. We go to finance metaphors.
Yeah.
That's great. That's really interesting. I am really excited about TikTok right now. I think that it's
Yeah.
I didn't realize. I was like, oh God, another social media platform. Like, no, I don't want another one. But then
Yeah.
I got on TikTok and I was like, oh my God, like this is the best way to discover content that I've ever
Yeah.
found. Like you don't have to follow anyone, and the algorithm's just like, you liked this post about like silly things, like here's
Yeah.
more silly things. Um, and it
Yeah.
forces everyone to become short filmmakers, which I think is
Yeah.
amazing. It's just like, no, you have to like it has to be video. You have to edit it. Uh,
You
that's
have to learn.
yeah.
Yeah. It is fascinating. TikTok is fast paced. And so there's no wonder that there's so many dance videos on TikTok, because it's got this beat to it, and it can be very addictive and uplifting and fun. and
Hmm.
you can never beat fun. And that's why
Yeah.
especially B2B companies really struggle with what to put on social media, because sometimes the topics are not fun. But the truth is that for any interest group, there's something that's fun to them. Like right now, my boyfriend is obsessed with learning about trading, and it is so much fun to him. And he laughs and he giggles when he talks about it. So it's just a matter of finding that, that button that you can push that gets those people to really get into it and enjoy even what we call non-sexy content. I mean, we worked once with the manufacturers of sewage cleaning equipment, and they were very concerned about I mean, we're so not sexy. We do dirty work. Well, we found entire communities of plumbers who think that these tools, this equipment is the sexiest thing on the planet. They were so into it. And there were all these forums where they were talking about the weirdest things that they found in sewage. And I will have to tell you, I was getting into it because it was pretty funny what they were talking about having found. So there's a sexy topic for everyone. TikTok has the universal appeal of being upbeat and fun, but in no matter what industry you are, as long as you know your audience as well and do some stalking online to see what makes them laugh, or makes them excited, you can produce content that appeals to them.
Yeah. Um, and I think TikTok really it seems to have the same spirit that like Vine had. And Vine
Yeah,
I thought was the greatest platform ever. And I still
I
watch
loved it.
compilations on YouTube and just laugh until my stomach hurts. So I was so I don't know why I resisted TikTok. I was just like, oh, I don't want to deal with another platform. But we're experimenting like crazy with TikTok. Like we obviously you realize like I'm recording the video and audio of this podcast, but we'll take the highlights of our clients' podcasts and then hard code the title and then subtitle it and just use TikTok as another discovery platform to grow our clients' podcasts.
Yeah. There's a lot of potential there. And I think that a lot of people are intimidated because it is video, but you can always edit it off platform. It doesn't have to be edited
It
within
is
TikToks
annoying
or
to edit
Reels.
inside TikTok.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's a no-brainer, but I think that a lot of our clients don't think about it, that just as we edit video for YouTube, actually this is easier because it's only 15 seconds, or like a little video for Instagram feeds, you know a minute video, let's say. It's in some ways a little less intimidating to edit, although conceptually the shorter the video it is, the harder it is to produce because you have very little time. But you can edit off platform. You can go on Fiverr if you don't want to hire agency like ours or
Hmm.
editors, and get some video clips done.
Yeah,
So you have options. You don't have to be intimidated by it.
yeah, yeah. I've even pitched a few of my clients on, just the stuff they'll talk about will kind of like inspire. Like I'm a filmmaker by passion, like with a heavy focus on comedy. And they'll say something, and I'll just, an idea will pop in my head for like a silly TikTok video, and I'm like, hey, what do you think of this idea? So we're even experimenting with, you know, forcing my 40-plus-year-old clients to, act like Gen Y, like
Yeah.
super young millennials. Um,
Yeah. I mean, there's no downside to it. Um,
yeah,
you've gotta test things. You've got to experiment. And we're using the model more on Instagram with Reels, but you can take a reel and put it on TikTok as well.
Mm-hmm.
But there's more people to reach for our target audiences, for our clients' target audiences on Instagram, and Reels they're rewarded more by the Instagram algorithm, so they're getting more views than even Instagram TV videos. I don't even know what the future of Instagram TV is. It doesn't seem to be picking up, probably
I don't
because it
like
is
it.
long format. Yeah, it's tall format, it's long format, but Reels are doing very, very well on Instagram, and you can reuse them on TikTok as well. I think a lot of people forget that if you've made a reel, might as well put it on TikTok as well.
Mm-hmm. And explain what a reel is. I don't think I'm even 100% clear on what a reel is.
Oh, it's the same as TikTok.
Okay.
So you can do like stop motion animation. You can clip together little videos that you film, add captions on them, add timed captions, right, that pop up at different points within the video, add music to it. You can copy a soundtrack from another video and apply it to yours.
Mm-hmm.
So you have all of those
Okay.
similar TikTok options.
So they
Yeah,
just
15
blatantly,
second long.
yeah, they just
Oh, it's
blatantly stole TikTok's business.
Oh, absolutely. At 100%, just as they stole stories from Snapchat.
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
Um,
I mean, on a macro level, like it does concern me how much social media Zuckerberg controls. And I feel like that is not good for innovation.
yeah, yeah. Um, they are, they, they always have the upper hand on taking a idea like that and adding it to their platform. And since they have way more users than any other platform,
Hmm.
like the reels, the TikTok of Instagram is really picked up by people who will not be on TikTok or didn't think of TikTok.
Hmm.
So they're definitely capturing a much larger audience with the same idea that another platform has. I hope that TikTok doesn't turn into the new Snapchat, getting crushed by Instagram stealing their methods.
Yeah.
But there's no denying that Facebook, Instagram are a massive empire.
Hmm.
But it seems like the new Apple privacy disclosure requirements are really putting really presenting Facebook with a massive challenge and forcing them to change. And Facebook is running ads on TV and newspapers to get people to stay on the platform and tell them that all this Apple change is gonna affect how we can offer you the best content, when in fact it's changing how they can sell our data through
Hmm.
advertising.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I hate Facebook. I love Instagram. I love TikTok. Um, but Facebook seems, just from a personal standpoint, and even, my clients, like we don't get a ton of traction on Facebook. We get 10 times more on Instagram. It
Yeah, most value that we get from Facebook for business is from Facebook groups or special interest groups.
Yeah, like from a personal standpoint, like Facebook, I have to go on there for business, but it'll often like force me to look at my homepage, and then I'm like, wow, I can't believe my friend is such a psychopath. Like I'm never speaking to them again. Like that seems to be its greatest value is just showing you what friends are probably insane.
Yeah, I found that in the past year, because it was such a difficult year,
Yeah.
um, one of the annoying things for me on Facebook is the complainers. So when we have so many problems in the world, the little things that people say and do on Facebook seem so insignificant And that's just not compelling. That's not going to make me want to spend time on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'd rather look at pretty pictures and weightlifting videos on Instagram than spend time on Facebook. And
Yeah.
I hear that from a lot of people, that the majority of their activity on Facebook is in groups.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that's good. How do you all leverage groups for your clients?
So it's important to know that you have to use your personal account to participate in groups. So it's not a good fit for those who
Oh, I see.
want to be very private on social media. You can join a group as a business page, but most group moderators look down on that. So, and then the odds are that they're not really going to easily approve your content if you try to post on there. But as individuals, you can join special interest groups. Okay, so let's go back to the plumbing example. There's groups for plumbers where they exchange ideas. If you manufacture something in the plumbing space, there may be a group that fans of yours have already created about your products. And so join in there and participate in the conversation. And I don't recommend being salesy about it. I recommend being there in case somebody needs your help, to really listen for what people say, what they're into, what they complain about. Maybe they complain about your competitors. You're going to want to know that. So we don't see it as a direct sales channel, but it's really valuable. It has so many other benefits that I recommend, marketers, business owners, if you're a smaller business owner or mid-size business owner, executive, to find groups and participate in them, because there's tons of them out there. And if there isn't one, dare to create one. I'll give you an example. Instapot has a much better presence on Facebook through groups. They have their own group. There's like a bazillion groups for Instapot recipes. Their Facebook page is tiny compared to the overall conversation share that they capture on Facebook.
Nice. So what is, kind of shifting gears, what is the marketing strategy that you all are engaging in right now that you are most excited about?
For ourselves or for our customers? So I can give both answers.
Yeah, either one. Or both.
So for our clients, we focus a lot on thought leadership. And video is a really big part of that. Video and podcasting, which is what you do, which I'm sure you're a proponent of.
No, I hate podcasting. No.
I was just making sure, because I remember I had years and years where I was a proponent of Facebook, but I hated it. But content is still
podcasting. So
yeah, I can tell. Yeah. But content is still the key to everything. If you're going to be on any network, even if you run Google advertising, it really helps if you put together valuable content. And if you can now do video advertising, if you could do these little snippets. On Instagram, we've even seen, since you're in the podcasting world and we're speaking to a podcasting interested audience, on Instagram, we've even seen success with snippets from podcasts with just a picture. So it's basically a video, but it doesn't have the video to it. It's just a picture and you have the sound with the captions on. If you can do a 15-second of that, you can also post it to Reels, and I'm sure you do this on TikTok. So that way, a lot of times podcasts sound alone without video, because video is intimidating still to a lot of people, can still be used as a video. There are so many ways in which we can develop content, sound and video format. that can be really attractive. And I want everybody to get into it. I'm still like having these discussions with our customers, and I can see that more and more of them are seeing the value of video and and sound, of educating, of expressing thought leadership. People consume a lot of that content now. I There's statistics that are showing us that YouTube, I'm actually very excited still about YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people use YouTube as a podcasting channel as well as a video channel. In fact, YouTube has the highest number of hours of content consumption of all social networks, but we forget that it's a social network, but it is. So that's what I'm most excited about: video, audio. LinkedIn is still doing great. If you're in the B2B space, you have to be there.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually evolved in a sophisticated way. And we see great traction from leaders who, as individuals, spend time, again, sharing their knowledge. A thing I say is out teach the competition. I think I stole that from Jason Fried. I'm not the one who came up with it, but I always advise our clients to out teach their competition through video content, through podcasts, through great compelling blog posts that are not just well written, but properly laid out so they're easy to read and digest.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to content, the rule is to ask yourselves, would somebody bookmark this? That's the most important action, the most valuable action they can take. If somebody would bookmark that, that's the content that you want to create.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everywhere on YouTube, you can bookmark something. You can save something on any podcast platform. You can save and you can bookmark content on Instagram, pretty much everywhere, right? We want to create content that is so helpful that they want to refer to it later or that they want to share it with their friends. We spend time obsessing over vanity metrics like likes and so on, but the best metric, and they're hard to measure because they're invisible, is peer-to-peer sharing. Mm-hmm. And studies and data shows us that there's way more peer-to-peer sharing happening than we realize. The social spaces have changed, and it started with Snapchat, where peer-to-peer chatting and conversation became bigger than sharing with the big wide network. There's a lot more conversation happening through Facebook Messenger and Instagram Messenger than there is sharing of original content through those platforms. So there's like an underground network of content sharing, and you want your content to be shared. So make it darn good, out teach your competition, make it bookmarkable. That's what I'm excited about.
Yeah, and I think that is one of the brilliant aspects of TikTok. They make it so easy to, you watch a TikTok and you're like, oh my God, my girlfriend, my mom, my best friend would love it. And like they don't even need to be on platform. You just hit the text to someone button. Like I send probably 5 to 10 TikToks per day. I'm just like, oh, Sean would love this.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a consumer of TikTok. I don't post on there. And on Instagram, for example, the same thing. I think I get 10 to 20 posts sent directly to me every day, which is maxes out basically my Instagram consumption time. So of course, people don't see big numbers on their feed anymore because so much of TikTok and Instagram content gets shared privately. And we call that the peer-to-peer social networks, the rise of the P2P social networks, which are a lot harder to measure.
Yeah. Yeah, touching back on your content point. I think one of the reasons that we love podcasting so much I mean, first, like I love to do it. Like I just started podcasting like 2015 because I listened to so many, and I was like, this is. I wonder if this will be fun. And it was super fun. It's just,
Mhm.
you get to have a really fun, high level conversation with someone that's like super smart about the topic that you're discussing, and they talk to you for free, which is also cool. But the kind of unintended positive consequence of it was, for the first, I started my company in 2012. It was just like a straight digital marketing agency. And for the first 5 years of running the business, I was like, client, you're an expert in commercial paving. Like, how do I get you to write blog posts on commercial paving or record videos? And they're like, that's a great idea. We definitely need to do that. I'm definitely 100% going to do that. 0% of the time did any of them ever do that. They're too busy,
Right.
they're too
Yeah.
ADD. But once I figured out if I could just get them to sit in a room or sit on Zoom and talk to someone about cool stuff that they're interested in, I could turn that podcast episode into blog posts, into social media posts, into videos,
Um,
into images with quotes on them. I was like, I figured it out.
yeah. Yeah. That
So,
one of the things that I advise people to do is it's exactly what you said. We've noticed the same thing, and we hear our clients get really passionate about something in the most unexpected times, in the most unexpected situations, right? And so I advise them to always pay attention anytime they give advice to their clients, to take note of that and then turn it into content.
mhm.
And then they say to me, oh my God, now every conversation I have, I realize there's three things, at least three things that I can write about or do a video about that came out of this conversation. And then another method is to do interviews with them and know how to interview them to get to that passion point. It's amazing to me how much knowledge our clients have that just sits within their heads, that never gets shared, that they never have the chance to out teach their competition with it. So they need people like us and good interviewers, even if they hire somebody in house, somebody who's really good at interviewing, at getting those stories out of them and turning them into content. And we've had a lot of success with that, with a lot of our clients who are willing to take the time to sit down with us for an hour a month, even like you said, 1 hour a month, and we can create 3, 4 blog posts out of it,
Mhm.
or record it. And, a lot of times 1 hour session can be multiple videos, multiple uh, mini podcasts, and so on.
Mhm. Yeah. And that was one thing. It was also a positive unintended consequence. Like my clients, once they got over the initial fear of hosting a podcast, like the nerves, they started to love it. And it was like, their executive assistants would be like, "This is the only thing that they're ever on time for." So I'd be like,
it's
"Damn, it's important."
Isn't it a little bit like a diary? I think that one of the reasons people love podcasting is it's because it's like the new blogging. Blogging first started were diaries, like literally people were just using them to put down their thoughts, and
Yeah,
they found it cathartic. And
weblog.
yeah, yeah. And I was talking to a friend of mine who just recently started a podcast, and she said, I realized that even if nobody listens to this, it's helping me. And I think that's one of the things I love about podcasting is that it actually unlocks something in people, that makes them happy. And so even if very few people listen to it, one, they probably find it very valuable, and two, it's going to help the person who's teaching, who's doing the
Mhm.
podcast.
Yeah, and I mean, speaking on the amount of listens, a lot of my clients, they're like, "Oh, I got to be the next Joe Rogan. I got to be the next Tim Ferriss." And I'm like, first of all, that's not going to happen. let's just let's
Unless you
face
just want to
that.
sit there and smoke pot on air, then you might
Yeah,
be the next Joe Rogan to an extent.
I was like, no, like he's been doing this for, going on two
Mhm.
decades almost. You're not
Yeah.
gonna reach that. But you can still do really cool stuff. And as far as listens go, we I would say we get 10 times as much value from the content that we pull from the podcast. The podcast to me is really just the vehicle to create the content that we then put on social media. Like the
Yeah.
certainly we have a great audio audience for most of our podcasts who just love to listen, and they have long commutes or they take their dogs for 20 walks a day. But I mean, it's literally 10 times more people engage with and consume the short form video content.
Oh,
Um,
I bet. I bet.
yeah,
Yeah, some of my favorite podcasts are the ones that are actually about 10 to 15 minutes long.
yeah, yeah. I actually, for my audio, I prefer it to be 45 minutes long at least, because if
Mm.
it's only 15, then I'm like, oh, I gotta find another one to listen
I
to, like
know.
on my commute or my dog walk or my workout session or something. And it seems like, from personal experience and from my own clients' experience, they kind of hit their flow around like the 30-45 minute mark. And that's when
Mm.
they're just dropping gold, just dropping knowledge bombs. And I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
this is so awesome. And they're like very succinct. Their guests are very succinct. And they're just, very, very clear in what they're sharing. It makes it much more easy to export the content.
Yeah,
Um,
that makes sense. We've seen the same thing with video production.
yeah,
It takes that warm up period and then it flows.
yeah,
And as long as you keep recording to not miss that energy outburst, you can. That's the thing I love about podcasting that's different than video is that you can edit it. You can make the
mhm,
sound flow a lot easier than with video editing.
mhm.
Um, so there's so many advantages to it. To me, it feels like a no-brainer for, especially in the B2B space, for companies to try it out.
Awesome. So I want to shift gears a little bit and talk about your experience growing your business and hiring employees. Just to
Mhm.
confirm, I know on LinkedIn it says you have a couple of employees. Um, is that still accurate?
Yeah, at one point, I had 12
Oh
employees.
wow.
Yeah. And then talking about growing the business and hiring employees, I wasn't making any money.
Yeah.
Everything went to salary. So I had to change the model,
Mhm,
change the approach. One of the smartest things I did for my business advisor were pushing me to do this, was to pay myself first. If I pay myself first, the entire dynamic shifts where I'm going to work harder for sales, to get customers. Um, and I'm going to change everything else, how I look at the business, how I look at spending, and so on. And
mhm,
so that was a big turning point for my agency. Um, at first, I would say the first few years were easy because my former employer hired me as a consultant, hired me back as a consultant part time, which allowed me to build my book of business from there.
mhm,
And then we were one of the few agencies doing social media marketing because we started so early. For a while, it went really well until it got a bit more competitive. And that's when we were up to 12 people and I wasn't paying myself. And from the outside, we were incredibly successful. But me personally, I was not successful, as in
mhm,
like I wasn't making money. So I changed everything and then we went to a smaller model, more of a boutique model. And then things started going well again. So my business advisor was right. If there's anything I can advise people is to have a really strong business advisor and a group of people who will help them, whether it's an advisory group or especially if you're like me, alone without a partner, it can be very lonely.
Hmm.
And so I need smart people. I need to surround myself with smart people from the outside since I don't have partners or a board. I need to surround myself with smart people from the outside. So I have a business advisor. I'm part of an advisory group where we help each other. And that made a tremendous difference in my business.
Hmm.
So I hope that I know that building a business, if you're by yourself, can be so lonely. And maybe even for people who have partners, it can be incredibly lonely when you can't complain to your employees, right? You can't complain to your clients. You have no outlet to vent. Um, it's very lonely. So I want to encourage everyone to find advisors, create an advisory group, ask for help, to not be alone on this journey. And then things work so much better.
Hmm. And I know we're running low on time here, so I'll just ask a couple more questions. Where did you, or how do you find a good business advisor?
Oh, this is a tough one. It's kind of like finding a therapist. You may have to talk to a few of them and try out a few of them before you find the right one for you. But it starts with really knowing what your goals are. What am I really looking to accomplish, and where are my weakest spots? Where my advisor can be almost like that partner that I don't have, where they can make up for those weak spots. Um, almost be like a partner for hire in some ways. So that's how I would look for an advisor. I was lucky that I was I found my fit 9, 10 years ago. And he still helps me out. So um, but yeah, if I didn't know what I wanted and if I wasn't clear on where I suck and where I need help specifically, and be willing to uh, to let go of my pride and say, I'm really terrible in this area. I really need help. And find the person who can help you in that particular area. I think that's ideal.
Mhm. Nice. Awesome. Yeah, I have a couple mentors that I lean on pretty strongly because I'm similar to you. I don't have a partner. And I'm very lonely.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm sorry. It's
yeah, and I do complain to my assistant a lot. I'm like,
it's
listen to me, bitch.
it's unavoidable. I mean, we need support
Yeah.
of all sorts. I think another key to business success has been having assistance, having support. Even when times were tough, you simply cannot stop doing sales and marketing. You
Mhm.
have to keep at it. And and if you get rid of sales and marketing, if you get rid of all of your helpers, it's really going to hurt your business down the road. So whether you need to find an assistant in offshore, which is not a popular solution these days, but you're not going to have money to pay people onshore if your business dies. So get the help where you can.
Yeah. Um, so I've found like as my business grows and like I create more processes and kind of like delegate more things, like almost all of my time goes towards sales and marketing. What
Yeah.
have you noticed a similar kind of outcome?
Yeah. When my business does well, it's because I spend 80% of my time on sales and 20 on marketing or somewhere around there.
Mhm.
Or of the time that I spend on sales and marketing, it's more like 70, 80% sales and the rest is marketing. I have, so those, when times are good, that's when I make money. every single time I take my foot off the pedal, it's not immediate, but 6 months later, I feel the dip.
Mm.
So what I've learned is that you absolutely cannot drop that, and somebody has to do it full time. And if you don't have a big operation, the leader of the company is going to have to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And so in our case, right, it's me, and probably in your case, it's you, but it's unavoidable. I've seen it over and over again because sales is not my passion, right? So I slow down if things are going well. I slow down on the sales front, and then I feel it 6 months later. So
That's
again,
awesome. Yeah, I've definitely noticed the same thing. I'm sorry I cut you off.
yeah.
Continue. Yeah.
No, I was gonna say again, it's kind of like I'm not listening to my own advice about consistency.
Yeah.
That more than nothing is still better than just pulling back when things feel like they're going well.
Yeah. So, I always try to maximize the benefit of everything I do. So, one thing I've been experimenting with is like for folks who I think would make great clients who like don't respond to traditional sales messaging, I've started asking them to just do a quick 15-minute interview on my podcast
Mhm.
as just a way to like get my foot in the door. Do you have any kind of fun sales tricks that you use?
Yeah, inviting people to help with the survey, and then offering a conversation around it, or saying, "Can I ask you more questions about this?" We did a survey where we reached out to thousands of chief marketing officers and marketing executives, and it did start conversations, really good conversations with many of them. Um, Another way is to just extend something of value. It's happened to me a few times that some really smart salespeople came to me and said, "Hey, by the way, there was this legislative change. I just want you to know in Illinois, that has to do with employees, let's say. I just wanted you to know." And it put that person on my radar. I couldn't forget them after that interaction. And I could totally see if I had that need for their skill set that I would think of them and probably
Mhm.
turn to them.
Nice. Awesome. Well, we are coming to the end of our time together. I could obviously just uh, throw questions at you about marketing for the rest of the day. You are a wealth of knowledge, and you're very fun to talk with. My last
Thank
question
you.
that I love to ask every guest that I have, and it's very ambiguous and it's open-ended and it's whatever you want it to mean. What are you working towards?
Oh, that's a great question.
Thank you.
So I set a goal this year to become a black belt in communication.
Mm,
And sometimes when I say this to people, they laugh at me because most people have these goals of like, I want to retire by the time I'm 40. Well, I've already passed that mark. So, um, but I have learned, I've come to have this epiphany about how everything is about communication. Everything is about good communication. So many problems in life can be solved just with good communication. And so I set a goal that I'm going to try to read all I can and talk to people who are good at it and actually practice it. So I have a check in with myself every week and every month to see what I've practiced and how I did in that regards. And every time I get the opportunity, I look at things, at sales conversations, at interactions as opportunities for me to practice. So from a personal perspective, that's what I'm looking forward to really sharpening my communication sword. From a business perspective, or like a world perspective. Again, I'm really excited about people communicating through video and audio more. And I really want to see how that evolves. I do want to see how TikTok evolves. And I hope that it's not going to be the next Snapchat. And I hope we're going to get out of this COVID thing
Oh man.
and be on the other side and be able to actually see people in person. And the COVID time has made me have a much, instead of making very short, very long-term goals, take life more into shorter chunks of, I want to accomplish what I can accomplish in the next 2 months or in the next quarter. Because clearly what we've learned is that it's the only certain thing is uncertainty. So I hope that everybody stays safe and healthy, and that next year where business is going to be booming for everyone, and we'll be able to take a little break away from Zoom, because I'm starting to be a bit burnt out on Zoom.
Amen. And I look forward very much to hugging people again.
Yeah.
I've missed that a lot.
Yeah. My cats are a little tired of my forced hugs that I force upon them. So yes,
Yep.
hugs will be a nice thing.
Yeah, great. And where can people find out more about you?
Yeah, you can go to our website at lightspandigital.com. We have a resources page where you can download the daily workouts and have fun with those. And I'm pretty much on any social network as at Manamica, Manamica. I'm most active on LinkedIn and Instagram, so you can message me there, Manamica. I also have a YouTube channel where I answer pressing digital marketing questions in under 2 minutes. And it's called Mana Minutes. And again, you can find it at Manamica on YouTube.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me. This was great. Would love
Thank
to
you.
have you on again and bounce ideas off you. And if I can ever help you, like, please don't hesitate.
Thank you. Yeah, this was fun.
Yeah.
You
Cool.
you're good at keeping things light, but also in depth. So
Ah,
thank you.
I just asked the questions that I want the answers to.
Yeah, that helps. That helps.
Yeah, cool. All right. Well, stay safe and have a great rest of your day,
Thanks.
good weekend.
Thanks, you too. Looking forward to seeing this.
Yeah. Yep.
Bye.
Bye, man.